Hi guys! Welcome to another episode of Yoga Break It Down. I'm Yoga Suze. In this episode, we are going to explore runner stretch. And we're actually going to explore 3 variations. You may not have thought there were 3 variations of runner stretch. So the first one, we will have a modified runner stretch with use of a strap, which is fantastic for anyone who has difficulty reaching their foot, or it is not okay for the knee to have that degree of a bend that occurs when you do grab the foot. Second variation is standard runner stretch, but focusing on proper alignment, which you may not have practiced before. Third variation, you could think of as a lunge variation with knee on the floor because it does stem from that, but the stretch we receive is more like runner stretch. So that's why I call it a variation of runner stretch, and I refer to it as advanced runner stretch. The first 2 variations are balancing poses. With all of these variations, you would need to make sure that your knee is okay with it. So that might be a deal breaker for some of you. We do not need added traction for any of these variations, so you do not need a yoga mat. For variation 1 and 2, if you struggle with balancing or may need a support just in case, make sure you're positioned near a wall. You can be facing the wall to reach out with the hand, or you can be side by side with the wall so that the hand comes to the wall right at your side. For variation 1, you want to have some type of strap. So it could be a yoga strap, it could be a piece of rope, it could be a belt of some sort. Any of those will do. If you are side by side with the wall, you want to make sure what's going to be your standing leg is the one next to the wall. So choosing your standing foot, watching the connection of the foot to the floor. So the ball and heel are even, toes are either relaxed or actively spread. Loop your strap, so you have a little hook there. Bend the leg that you're going to be stretching and hook that strap around the top of the foot close to the toes, but definitely the foot, not the toes. So the foot can hang in that sling, being a little lower than knee height or possibly knee height. See how that bend is in your knee, and you might choose to stay there. For runner stretch, for the first 2 variations, it's important to have knee against knee. This helps us balance and helps us to receive the stretch more fully. The knee may often start to move out to the side on its own, and you just got to keep an eye on that and bring the knee back. At any stage you decide is your edge, and your edge is a spot where you feel a significant stretch but can still breathe into it and can still relax and release in the muscles to extend in multiple directions. When you find your edge, your work is to, again, tune into the standing foot, watch the connection of the ball and the heel to the floor, nice and even. Your hips should be square, your knee against knee, and there's a lift in the chest. So we're sinking down into the floor through the foot and lifting up through the leg, through the spine, out through the top of the head and the chest. If the knee feels okay with the foot at knee height, you may pull the strap up a little bit higher. You may even hook the strap around your shoulder for good support. And that usually brings the lower leg to about a 45-degree angle from the upright leg. For those of you who want a deeper stretch and can reach for the foot behind you, the standard runner stretch would be an option. So for this one, we'd put the strap aside. You would still position yourself near the wall if needed. So for this one, you would reach back with the same side hand to grab hold of the pinky toe side of the foot, the palm facing in. You might start with that 45-degree angle. So that's usually where the arm's fully extended. You've just grabbed hold of the foot. So for this, it would be the sling like you did with the strap in the first one. So you're in your sling of the full runner stretch. Make sure even contact of the foot to the floor, knee against knee, shoulders relax back and down, a lift in the chest. See how this feels to the knee. The knee has to be okay. The knee is in charge. And if it's a desired stretch, If you want to go further, you're working on bringing the heel to or towards the pelvis. If you do bring the heel all the way to the pelvis, see if you can reach the other arm around and see if you can possibly interlace the hands at the top of the foot or grabbing with the two hands in another way. If previously when you've practiced runner's stretch, your knees were not together, you may have felt less balance because the knee will shift around this way and that way. And you may not have felt as deep of a stretch. If this stretch is okay with you, heel to pelvis, and you want more of a stretch, and you're okay with a bent knee being on the floor, we'd use cushioning, but still on the floor, then you might try the third option. So for this one, we do need cushioning. So you might have a carpeted floor, which may be enough. Even with the carpeted floor, you may choose additional cushioning. You can choose a folded blanket, some type of foam pad, maybe the foam pad is folded as well. As much cushioning as you need because we're going to be resting our bent knee right there. We position ourselves in a lunge pose with 1 foot forward and 1 knee back. In one of my previous videos, we did break down lunge pose, so you might go back to explore that one. We want our cushion to be all the way against the wall. And if something's folded, we want to make sure the smoothest, most even folded side is the one at the wall because that's where your knee is going to be. So you bring your bent knee back straight on the pad. So meaning we don't want to have the kneecap tilted at all. We want to try to bring it straight there onto the pad. Your leg has been bent, so the foot is along the wall. Tops of the toes, top of the foot against the wall. Your hips are probably a bit forward at this point though, and that's fine. We're going to have a lot of options of stages. Once your foot is against the wall, you want to slide it a little bit to the side. So if it's your left leg, a little bit to the left. If it's your right leg, a little bit to the right. Just that foot. And the reason for this is as we go more deeply into this, your pelvis starts to move back, and we don't want the pelvis to hit the heel. We want there to be space for the pelvis to move towards the wall, and the hips would slide past your foot. Slide against the side of your foot instead of bumping into the heel. Where you are at now, having just brought that knee back, your other foot is forward, your hands are somewhere on the floor. For most people, somewhere around here is going to be the edge. If there is a glimmer of it being okay, stick with it. We want to make sure the knee is even on the floor, not in a weird tilt. We want to make sure that the hips are at a desired degree, forward or back, that will change the stretch that we're receiving on the back leg. And once we're okay with the positioning of the hips, we got to check in with the forward leg. The knee should be over the ankle. So scooch the foot forward or back to make that adjustment so the ankle is underneath the knee. Hands to the inside of the forward foot, the big toe side of that foot. Maybe it's hands, maybe it's fingertips. You're welcome to use a block. I'm not demonstrating that in this video. Once you take a few breaths into it, if you think it feels okay and you desire a deeper stretch, you need to bring that forward foot a little further back. Hands may still be on the floor. The pelvis has gone back a little bit, and you want the knee over the ankle. If you want to go further back, you can work on the pelvis coming to or towards the wall. Again, ankle under knee. If you want to go deeper from this, instead of having your hands on the floor or on the block, you can bring your hands to your upper leg, and they'll start to bring the torso up. But it'll still be away from the wall at first. If the pelvis is at the wall, the torso has started to come up a little bit, you can work on bringing the torso back, possibly all the way to the wall so that the shoulder blades touch the wall as well as the glutes. Maybe the arms come up and the thumbs or fingers touch the wall as well. There will be an arch to the back. There will be an arch to the back, so in addition to whether or not this is okay with the glutes and the kneecap, if you come into the full position and it's not okay for the back, you'd have to bring the shoulder blades a little bit away from the wall so that the spine can straighten. In most yoga positions, my general recommendation for how long to hold it is about 5 to 10 breaths, slow, deep inhalations and exhalations. Then when you're ready to come out, if your hands are not on the floor, you bring them back to the floor, and you would bring your forward knee down to the floor, and you'd basically crawl forward out of this pose. Take your time to wiggle out, stretch out, and then you'd get ready for the other side. In the first two variations, obviously with balance, we notice differences in side to side. In this advanced runner stretch, we might feel differences in the knees. Maybe it is a deal breaker for one leg completely, but okay for the other leg. Or maybe the quads feel differently because of how you use your body throughout the day, and one is okay with a deeper stretch than the other. Please remember for advanced runner stretch, like I said at the beginning, most people, their edge is stage 1. I love this pose. I feel very comfortable in this pose and the fullest extent of it, but that is not for most people. I just want to give that option for those who do really like that deep stretch and it's okay with their knees. Knees, wrists, and back are the main areas that would be deal breakers if there's great discomfort or pain. So whichever variation worked best for you, it would be great to add to your stretching routine after you work your legs at the gym in squats or other exercises. Thank you guys for joining me for this episode of Yoga Break It Down. Hit the subscribe button and share this video with friends. Remember that everybody needs yoga. So that means Ethan Hawke needs yoga, amusement park attendants need yoga, home care aides, they need yoga, and you especially, baby, you need yoga too. So I really hope you join me next time on Yoga Break It Down. Bye-bye.